they would undo the planet's creation and cost all the inhabitants their lives. The fate of Throssia rests in the hands of 4 guardians. However, an evil spell has been cast on the Hex, a tavern where they gather twice yearly to govern the affairs of all the land. The spell has trapped them inside the tavern. Days ago, the 4 summoned some 50 candidates from throughout the land, and from these, the guardians have each selected 3 champions. They then appealed to the gods of Throssia to choose from the remaining candidates the final 4 champions. The gods of Throssia have spoken. We thank them. Tonight, the guardians will select from those candidates chosen the ones who will represent their clan as champions in the quest to defend the Eye of Pleiana. Let us begin tonight by reviewing the performance of those newly chosen 4 from the champion trials that took place just days ago.
The greatest good we're fighting for is freedom. The ability to own your own land and fight for your own freedom and not live by what someone in a castle far away tells you to do. I mean, the ability to live your own life the way you want to live, that's the ultimate freedom. That's the most important thing there is.
It is given to you to make one lasting change in the world. What is that change?
To make one lasting change? Probably that no child would ever have to fear their parents. They can always count on them. Live a happy life, not have to go down the route I went. No child should ever have to.
What is the value of the arts?
To tell stories, perhaps to communicate what you need with a vast amount of people using as few words as you can.
What story do you want to tell?
Ours.
And what is that?
You tell me. I am but your puppet.
So, yes, hello, my name is Baldwin. Well, it used to be Baldwin, but I changed my name to Fang when I gave up society, so you could call me Fang. I really prefer that.
Oh, Fang.
Fang, yes, like a tooth, like a sharp tooth, like from a
good.
wolf. I really like wolves. So I used to be an accountant previously, yeah, but I ended up getting framed by an associate of mine for embezzlement, and then I ended up in jail for quite a while.
Gods have spoken. These 4 have been selected for some reason. Something inside of them is meant to fill the holes that are existing in the teams that you have already selected. So, tell me, as we look at these 4, what are your impressions? Perhaps we'll start with Veneda.
Oh, well, they certainly all seem like wonderful, valiant people. They all seem to have a core idea of what it is they want to do, and they all have different ways of going about it, but they are all very strong and interesting personalities. What's interesting to me is that I think that any of them could probably do very well in any of our clans. I think perhaps personality-wise, some would seemingly more obviously lead towards a certain clan, but it might be that perhaps playing against the obvious might be what helps us in the end.
Interesting. I think that's a good observation. Krieg, when you look at these candidates, what strikes you about them?
I think there's a lot that has been said that was right about Veneda. There's a lot of talent, and all of them can go into any one of our groups and fit well in it. There are some obvious choices that would fit well in each one of our individual groups, but I don't like the predictable. I think that's a little boring, and predictability on the battlefield gets you nowhere.
Sure, the element of surprise. Interesting from both Veneta and Krieg. Well, Talam, I'm curious what your take on these four is.
I think the gods chose these four because they're very distinct and they are so able to fit into any clan. I think if there were options that could only do one clan or perhaps two, it would have been more difficult for the quest as a whole. So I think the gods chose wisely.
I agree. Aria, communing with the gods yourself, what's your take on this?
It seems that they weren't chosen to be parts of the clans. Rather, they were chosen to fulfill this quest. They're not meant to join us individually, but as a whole.
A valid point. Now, when these champions originally stepped forward, they did proclaim a preferred clan. Will that influence your decision when we make that later this evening?
Yes and no, of course. If they seem like the type of person that would be unwilling to cooperate outside of their comfort zone, then it would be perhaps unwise to push against that. But I see in almost all of these candidates an ability to adjust and adapt. I think that perhaps by reaching out to those that might not have expected it, we could get unique results.
I like that. Well, perhaps it would behoove us to take a look at your existing party members, shall we? Let's review the selection made by Clan Veneta and see the strengths of the players you've already selected.
Do you feel that you could function within the moral confines of a house such as Aria?
Morality and I don't get along too well, right? Yeah, that's not really my forte. I can do an awfully good impression of a moral person if I needed to, but that's going to make me feel a little bit icky.
I call this my friends call me Zook, but my real name's Mazik, so I call this the Mazik dance. Get it? Because it's magic. Okay, ready? It's quite fun. Yes, try.
You know, please, why don't you show me?
Okay, ready?
All right, gotta make this quick.
Okay, so it's just a tap, a tap, a tap, a tap, a dance around the circle. A tap, a tap, a tap, a tap, a dance around the circle.
Thank you so much.
I thank you.
Thank you, Zook, right?
Yes, Zook.
Well, you are quite a skilled dancer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm curious, as you have care of these children, what is it that you teach them?
Well, there's a lot of life lessons you gotta learn on the street. First is don't get caught. Second is don't snitch. Well, let's see here. The third, everything is flammable if you try hard enough. Fourth is loyalty above everything else. That probably shouldn't be fourth, but we'll work on it.
Champions that you have selected,
Yes,
Veneta.
of course, and as having so far the strongest team here, all of your candidates are wonderful, of course. It is interesting, you are not just selecting individual candidates, you are making a team, but you are not making your team alone. We are all together in this quest. And so it is important that the individual pieces in your clan fit together, and that then that greater piece fits with everyone else. I'm still trying to figure out what it is that I am missing. I think perhaps as we discussed today, I will be able to put my finger on it.
Well, perhaps we could even inquire from your fellow guardians. Sometimes it's better to look outside ourselves to see what those strengths and weaknesses might be.
That's a wonderful idea.
Aria, Krieg, Talam, what do you see when you look at the existing talent inside of Clan Veneda?
I think Clan Veneda has a lot of intensity within it that skews dark. And so perhaps one of the champions who could bring a more lighthearted feel to the group would be best.
Interesting.
I disagree.
Really?
I think there is enough lightheartedness in Veneda. I don't believe there should be any lightheartedness in Veneda. But
Well, all right.
so I think you should look for someone who maybe bums people out in your group. That might help.
Is it just that you don't want someone that bums you out in your group, and so you're just trying to cast them into
Oh, no,
mine?
no. I think it would be a good fit for
I know you're so easily bummed out, Krieg.
I am.
Well, how about House Aria?
It feels like you could use someone with a learned education. Not to be rude to your current team, but many of them lack a formal education. And so you might benefit from someone who not only has street intelligence, but also arcane.
Fair enough.
An interesting take. And an excellent point. Well, we'll ponder that. And as you said, Veneda, it is important to look at our clan as a whole. So let us look at the champion selected by Clan Talam, shall we?
As a man of the cloth, I find some of your morals questionable, but I'm curious, why do you hold so dear telling the truth?
Well, my father taught me not to lie, and I think that's a pretty good thing to carry on through life. But more importantly, I think that it makes it more fun. If I never tell a lie for my entire life and still pull off heists more grandiose and more profitable than any other thief alive, then I truly am the greatest thief to have ever lived.
Hi. My name is Sammy. I'm Sammy the gnome, and I bite butts.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah. So I'm Sammy. Sammy bites butts.
Is that your name, Sammy Bites Butts?
No, just Sammy the gnome. Sammy the gnome coming at you. 100%.
Yes.
Are you a one-man operation, or do you have a team that works under you?
Oh, no. Just me, myself, and I. Although I am very good at working with others. I love people. People love me. I get around. I have friends and comrades. The world is my team. I have no enemies anyway. Not anymore.
Very interesting selections, Talam. Not what I would initially peg for you, I think. What strengths do you think you have existing in your clan already?
You know, my goal with Talam was not to pick any one individual who embodied the ideals of Talam, but to have 4 champions who as a whole embodied the ideals of Talam. And I feel that these 3 so far helped me to do that.
An interesting point. Any observations from our other guardians? What do you think might be lacking?
Well, obviously you need someone that can talk to plants.
I agree. Where are they?
That's just such a common stereotype with Talon. I'm sorry.
Obviously.
I would say that looking at your team, it needs direction.
A leader.
They need someone who can make active decisions, who has a motive, a goal they're working towards.
That is what I am here for.
And what if you cannot be there?
I will say you have 2 incredibly suave and charismatic gentlemen on your team. I have been eyeing them very closely. But besides them, I think that Of course, there is Sammy, and he is his own wild card. But perhaps, as you said, you're trying to achieve a certain balance overall, that you might find someone that doesn't rely so heavily on their charm, but perhaps relies more heavily on their wit, or on their learning, or on their fists.
I think that is a very fair point.
Excellent. We'll find out who that is later tonight. In the meantime, let's take a look at the selections made for Clan Aria.
Do you enjoy killing people if you have to?
I guess I never thought about it that way. That's complicated. I guess if I have to, I have to, but I don't really take joy in it. I take joy in the fact of knowing that if someone was bad enough that they needed to be gone, that they're not gone anymore. But I don't take joy in the actual act.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Friar Archibald, please
Yes,
ring
Father.
the bell.
Many people ask me how I got the name Knock Knock. I was raised as an orphan in a temple. I was left there, I assume. My parents were ashamed of my mixed blood, so I was raised there in the temple, and one day as a young child, the head priest came into my room and he said, "Knock knock." I assumed that was my name, and I've responded to nothing else since.
What would you say is one of your greatest skills?
My greatest skills is my sorcery. As having natural-born powers, they tend to be quite strong. And to be honest, I don't always have the hang of them all of the time, but when they come out, it's always something amazing.
Also, some interesting selections for Clan Aria. So tell me, what do you think exists as a strength in your clan already?
I believe that they are all very good-willed people, and that on top of that, they have room to grow. So that through this quest, they might not only obtain their objective, but also grow as people.
I see. So not only are you seeking to complete the mission, but to elevate those that serve with you.
Yes.
A noble goal, not too surprising. Now, as you look at these candidates selected by the gods, is there one that jumps out to you? Or maybe reviewing those tapes, is there some sort of spot that's missing? Is there a weakness, a chink in the armor of Aria?
If there is to be a chink, I would say we lack what Talam is so plentiful in. We might lack some charisma. We might lack that ability to be very social with people.
And how about the rest of the Guardians? What are your observations here? Is there any guidance you could give?
I think that Aria has been quite astute in their assessment of the perhaps shortcomings of their clan.
I think, and I know this is strange, but I think that you need a little bit more of a wild card. You have so many people that are, though quite different from each other, pretty set in their ways and seemingly somewhat predictable. And I think that perhaps by throwing someone in the mix that is good and holds to the values of Aria, but perhaps adds a needed element of surprise or spice, that might help keep... Well, I know you don't like spicy food.
I disagree with that as well.
Krieg, what's your observation?
I apologize for cutting you off.
No
I
worries.
say get someone who is predictable. Maybe you have too many wild cards on your team. From what I saw, I think there is a little bit too much wildness for something as holy as Aria. And maybe you need some more light.
I think perhaps Krieg is angling for something in his best interest and not in the best interest of the collective.
I disagree. I think I am just answering the questions which are posed to me.
You only get to cast disagree 4 times a day, so be very careful with your next
I think
uses
I'm
of
out.
Well, let's review then the selections that Krieg has made to see what he might be angling for, shall we?
Tell me, when is it permissible to lie?
I can't think of a single situation in which I would lie.
Helmer.
Yes?
Yes, right here.
Uh-huh.
I give you a marshmallow,
Oh, great.
but I tell you that if you don't eat that marshmallow, in 1 hour I will come back with another marshmallow, and you can have both.
Ooh.
But if you eat the marshmallow, you will not get the second marshmallow. What do you do?
Oh. I would probably eat the marshmallow. Then I would proceed to find a very small pebble that looks like a marshmallow, and I would sprinkle dirt on it, and then I would put it in the same spot and wait for my other marshmallow.
Excellent. I think that sounds like a wonderful plan.
Yes. I might eat the rock too.
Right. What do you think is the most important lesson you'll need to learn going forward?
How to make this not something of my own. It was an accident how I got it. It's not supposed to be mine. And I need to learn how to use it, and I need to learn how to understand what's happening after he sent me out. And
So you'd like to harness what you have,
yes, yes,
not shy away from it.
yes. I mean, that's what he did. He used all of this power, and he tried to. Are any of you magic users?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have a focus, a thing that you have to focus on? Do you use materials? Do you use I don't know.
I sort of I sing mostly. I have an instrument that I use to sort of focus my magic into.
I was his instrument.
Oh my goodness.
And that's how I got it. That's how we were able to travel all over the place. I mean, have you ever seen huge Feywild migrations? I mean, I was able to travel everywhere because of his magic, and then somehow it affected me, and now I'm here.
I think the musical cues say enough about my team.
Some varied selections for you, Krieg.
Yes.
When you were forming your team, what was it that you were taking into consideration? What strengths do you think you possess?
I think there is a lot of moldability in what I have. There is a lot of unpredictability in what I have, and there's a lot of power in what I have. And I hope to continue to add to that.
Interesting. Do you think that there is a clear weakness in your selections, or a hole that should be filled?
If there is, I wouldn't say it.
True to Krieg. Well, perhaps it's been spotted by your fellow Guardians. Guardians, what do you think might be lacking in Clan Krieg?
I like the sound of this.
Well, I'm trying to phrase it very carefully. I think you have some people that are not quite as, I don't want to use this word, but it's the only one I can think of, volatile. In perhaps mannerisms or emotions. You have a decent amount of emotional vulnerability, of strength, of passion and anger. But I think you have the perfect pile of combustibility, and now you need someone who is a spark.
Along similar lines, I feel as though the champions in your clan right now are so moldable that perhaps when they are out on their quest and unable to seek your direction, they may not know what to do and may not have the confidence to act without your direction. So perhaps your final champion should be someone with a little more self-assurance.
Interesting. A steel casing maybe around the combustible bomb. Interesting.
Noted.
Aria?
if I was to give any guidance to you, I would agree that they are impressionable. Many of them are very impressionable, and I ask that you don't tell Father that I said this, but it doesn't seem you have someone that would be willing to do whatever it takes to get a mission done, to obtain a goal.
A strong will or constitution, maybe. Interesting. Well, Krieg, take these things into consideration, and all of you, because now it is time to begin the selection. We shall roll an initiative for the selection process. We will roll individually, starting with Aria and moving clockwise around the table. After we have our rolls, we will then proceed in that order, from highest to lowest, for you to make your selections. When you've selected your champion, place your hand on their picture and move it to join the others in your house. Are you ready, Guardians?
Yes.
I suppose so.
Then Aria, please roll for initiative.
One.
Excellent. Krieg, roll for initiative.
I hope for something better. That's what 12.
Veneda, roll for initiative.
17.
Talam, roll for initiative.
9.
9. So initiative will proceed as follows. Starting with House Veneda, we will then move to Krieg, followed by Talam, and then finally, Clan Aria. Veneda, the floor is yours.
Interestingly enough, I had actually not wanted to go first.
Huh.
I can't hold my action, can I?
Unfortunately, no.
Well, let me confer. What?
Yes, you can hold your action if you choose to do so.
I think I will.
All right. In that case, what will be the trigger for your action?
When somebody, well, now there's pressure. When 2 candidates have been chosen.
All right, so following Talam. In that case, the initiative comes to Krieg.
Wonderful. Because I know exactly who I want to choose. I'm going to think about this for a second.
Make your decision wisely.
You see, I've taken in all of the notes that you all have given me. And I have also reviewed these candidates pretty thoroughly. I've watched their auditions a number of times to kind of gauge what I'm missing and what I would like. And as I've said in the beginning, predictability is not always best. With that being said, here we are. For me to choose and stall as long as I can.
Well, I mean, would you like to discuss it? Or do you want to remain mysterious?
Well, ultimately, I have the choice. So me showing my hand wouldn't be the worst idea because ultimately I will be able to...
We will figure it out eventually.
Yes, I'd assume so.
It is your turn for the decision.
Krieg.
Yes.
What is your selection?
I say go with your gut.
What does your heart tell you?
Krieg does not listen to his heart.
Oh, prove her wrong. Come on now.
This is a difficult decision.
Of course. Consider what you have and what you lack.
Okay.
Have you made your decision?
No. But I will. But I will very soon.
Just know that we are all judging you.
Perhaps if you reach out your hand as you did last time, you'll surprise yourself by who you pick up.
Yes.
Or we could throw a dart.
I'm not huge on surprises. That's not really my game. It's more Veneda's game.
We could flip them upside down and mix them up for you.
I like that. That's a good surprise.
Yeah, let's not do that. That might alter our teams.
It also would leave it up to
That is
gods.
intriguing, actually.
Oh my god.
I think I'll do that.
Oh my goodness.
As I said, all of these candidates will do well in Krieg. I fully believe that.
So we let fate decide.
I think we should let fate decide.
A true wild card.
Veneda, please select those 4 pictures and shuffle them.
Oh, no, you don't get to touch this. Oh, look, a candle.
There are many in this place. I will not look. You mix them up as you would. Oh my gosh. Are you finished?
You flip them over and they're all pictures of me.
All right, Krieg. May you not regret this.
I won't. I think this has been very entertaining for myself, and it really is all of you who might not like my decision. I don't know which one I should choose. Again, what a surprise.
Krieg has selected.
I have selected my candidate. And I will place this person here.
Ooh.
Garrett.
Interesting.
All right. Well, no one else is doing that because that's a silly idea.
I think that was quite fun. What do you
That
think?
was quite fun. Krieg, an interesting decision.
I appreciate leaving it up to a higher power.
Yes.
I find it interesting that someone you were considering very seriously is who you ended up with in the end.
I was considering them all quite seriously, Talam. So yes, your statement is incorrect.
I think it's interesting because I feel that that was perhaps a way to most truly follow your gut or instinct, as it would be.
I agree.
We'll see if that serves you in the adventures ahead. But Talam, it is your turn.
Talam is not indecisive. I know exactly who I will pick. And this person, unlike the others, has a strong moral compass, where the others may be charming and perhaps a little directionless. This individual will bring unity that completes the clan. And that person will be Gandon.
Gandon, an excellent selection.
The monk. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Veneda, 2 champions have been selected. That is the trigger for your action.
Yes. Well, I am excited. See, I prefer to make more reactionary decisions based on the events around me, based on who is who and what's going on, where the power lies. Now, both of these candidates, and all of them, I believe, would do quite well in Veneda. This, I believe, goes against what this person was initially wanting. And we will see how that fares. But this person has a very strong sense of vindication and a righteous understanding of freedom. I think that not only will they bring a certain passion and ambiance to our group, but they will bring a certain physical power that I believe we are lacking.
Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
An excellent choice.
Very good choice.
Aria. There is one final selection.
I believe since he rolled a 1, he doesn't get any.
Your hand falls off.
If you would like, we can flip it upside down and mix it up.
Not as entertaining this time, I don't believe.
But having communed with Father, he did agree with the other guardians that we lacked a sense of charisma, we lacked some unpredictability, if you will. And I believe even if our initiative may have been higher, he still would have been our selection.
Interesting.
And so, Justin joins Clan Aria. Guardians, these are your champions. There are 4 others as well who the gods have selected to act in the stead of any of your champions should some sort of terrible accident befall them. And now the road ahead is perilous. It is very likely that we may see these faces on the battlefield. In the meantime, we want to thank each and every single one of our brave candidates who came to the Hex and submitted themselves to our guardians. This was a very difficult decision, and we are honored that each of you chose to step forward. Guardians, thank you for your wisdom and your guidance. May it benefit you as you begin to train your champions and prepare them for the road ahead. Gods of Throssia, thank you for your assistance in selecting our champions. This will not be the last time we ask for your guidance or your input. Please continue to keep your eyes upon us. Now, the quest for the Eye of Pleiana will begin April 12th at 7:30 Mountain Time. We hope to see you there.